Hi, I'm Lisa Glenn Nobles, owner of LGN Collaborations, fractional chief operating officer, and operations nerd, let's be honest. Today, we're going to talk about how to get started on your business process documentation. For a lot of people, business process documentation is overwhelming and frankly, it can be a little bit boring. So, we have some tips for you to get started and create a cadence for how you're going to create and update your process documentation and offload that to your employees so that you're not the one always doing it. All right. The first step is to determine where the content should be located. Where is it going to live? This might be in Google Docs or Trainual or on Pineapple Academy or YouTube. It can be in any number of locations depending on what your business needs. If your business needs physical checklists, that's great. But you want to determine 1 to 2 locations that it's going to live in at the most. Okay, so that might be a big document in Google Docs with links to everything so that everyone knows where to go. Or perhaps it's in Trainual, and Trainual is always the source of truth. It really depends on your business. The next step is to determine who will own the documentation. We recommend that that be the person who does the job the most routinely. It's going to be tempting to say, oh, I'll give it to a manager, or oh, I'll do it myself, even if it's not that person's job. The reason you don't want to do this is that often managers don't know when software tools change, when a process changes slightly, and so they're going to document it incorrectly. So you want to actually hand that directly to your employees to document. The benefit here is that it also builds some autonomy and some ownership in the role. Third, you're going to determine how to test the documentation. So once it's written down, you're going to choose a time to test run the documentation with the person who will be taking it on. All right. So for example, if it's a manager who might take it on in an employee's absence, the employee is going to sit virtually or in person with that manager and watch them do the process. The key here is to not interject. Let the process go wrong so that you can determine what steps you missed. It is totally normal to miss steps. You have to just let that process happen. As you go, you're just going to make notes of what you missed and go back and adjust the process as you go. Then once you get a clear test run where everything goes well, you're ready to say that that process is ready for prime time. Fourth, we want to determine who is going to update the documentation. All right. Again, it can be tempting to make this a manager or you, but we want it to be the person who is closest to the work. That way you're sure when changes happen, for example, a software tool changes what button you click on, that can be adjusted really quickly. And finally, we want to determine how often it will be reviewed and updated. Okay. This is a really critical piece because we've all been in a business where things get updated every 3 years. And so it's always out of date and it's kind of always useless. You don't want your process documentation to be useless. So we recommend setting a cadence where everybody updates process. And our recommendation is that each process get looked at about once a quarter. All right, that's it. We hope that it helps you to get started on your process documentation journey. We're interested to hear what challenges and great wins you experience in the comments.